Could you mention to him about how the police officers they're exacerbating and it's like they force that whole territorial mentality that you can only stay in your part area. Don't let us see you in F.R.U.A.
What's that about? Are they threatening the youth to go in
like
other areas?
They find some youth that they know that lives in Edgemont. They'll say, "What are you doing on it over here?"
They called it the choke zone, right?
Yeah.
You heard it? Is that the choke zone that you talking about?
Like, okay, it's the same way here. If we go downstairs and we go to another building,
right,
and we sitting on the bench, and we there, now me and him are leaseholders, but if we at another building, they're asking for ID, and they'll tell us, yeah, if you don't live here, they'll give us a ticket for trespassing.
If you just go right across to another building, you get a trespassing ticket just for going to another building.
Right. Now, before, they would go upstairs. Like, so, okay, if we went to the next building, we're going to see somebody's house with me, right? You tell them, I just left my friend's house, or I left my girlfriend's house, what it may be. They would take you back upstairs. Well, this young man just came from your house, what it may be. Okay, fine, we're going to let him go. They don't do that no more. You show, well, you got ID or not, they still give you the trespassing ticket for being in that building. Now, we leaving out of that building from somebody's house, and my ID say for this building here, we're going to get a ticket from over there for trespassing.
Is there any sign stating that you can't do that?
It's illegal.
I know it's illegal, but what have you received a citation yourself?
My son.
Your son received a citation
twice.
They do it to you.
Twice.
And that's blowing my mind. You can't even go. And we're talking about like just to the other side. That's less than a block away.
No, I'm talking about the next building.
Going to the next building, that's like 20 feet, 30 feet away.
And to take it further, because another brother was mentioning to me how the police, how they're stationed at, you know, they're in all the project areas, and if and you know how they'll stop these young brothers and card these young brothers. He said I live in Hamels, and I got, and my sister live in F.R.U.A. And so my son's got cousins over there. So my cousins come over here to Hamels. The police stop them and tell them that, oh, you from F.R.U.A. What are you doing over here? And they will card them and they will give them trespassing fines and whatnot.
Family can't even come.
Their own family can't come. Like you're not even free. You're not even a human being. Where you can walk anywhere you want to as long as you're not committing no crime.
That's intense, man.
And that's happening all over the place.
That's intense.
So it's like it's really molding the mind of our people into like a jail-like mentality. Like you don't have no freedom to move nowhere.
And the police are obviously not from this area. I came out here and I've seen 6-foot-tall hillbilly cops in the middle of the night just patrolling the area. They're not even reflective of the area. Right? We're talking white cops.
Sometimes when I work,
recently, now, do you recall there was a television show that ran for about a whole summer about Edgemont?
Yeah,
y'all remember that?
It
was dealing with a certain gang, right? It was the system, right? What year was that show ran? Y'all remember?
I think that was the early 80s.
Early 80s. It was called The System. It ran for about 6 months or so, right? That was in the 90s?
It started early 80s.
No, it wasn't in the 80s. It wasn't in the 80s. It was in the 90s, yeah. I remember because I moved from here 83. And that didn't happen until 10 years later. About 10 years later. Now that movie, The System, was based upon a certain gang or group that was around 445 in that area. Do you remember exactly who it was that they were focusing on? It was a cop that had got shot.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of that? Any of the details of that? And why do you think they put that in effect back then, 10 years ago? That was prior to the beginning of this here project this renovation project. So do you think that was connected? It was a correlation? It was some kind of, like you said, the media was actually pulling pieces up and putting it out there to justify. In the beginning, as we started talking, you said they started to justify. The justification started way back then with that. How did the people in Edgemont feel about that? Was it like, oh, we on the map now? Was it an ignorant reaction, or was it a positive reaction from the people? Both. It was a little bit of both, right? Yeah. So we seen that it did have a valid effect, for two different sides. And how did you feel personally when you saw that, when you watched that? How did you feel?
I thought it was portraying us in a very bad way. You know, like we was the worstest projects in the 5 boroughs. And I've been to other projects that was, that was bad, where, you know, I was afraid to travel in there in the daytime. And like I said, yeah, these people here, I call my family. You know, I travel on both sides, daytime and nighttime, you know, and I always say, yeah, when I gotta be afraid to walk around where I live at, it's time for me to leave.
If you had one thing you could say to the powers that be who have helped to produce the situation of decadence in this area, what would that be?
So many things, you know. It hurts me to see that, you know, how they messed the neighborhood up so bad, and nobody wants to step up and say, you know, there's a problem here. We created the problem. It's up to us to try to fix the problem. Okay, fine. We can't fix every building, but we could fix majority. You know, okay, I don't expect them to fix the whole projects, but at least you could fix at least 75-80%. You know, like I said, I don't expect them to fix all the youths, but you still could fix at least majority. Majority of the youths do want to learn. Majority of the youths do want to do the right thing if they get the opportunity to do it. But when you got police constantly harassing them and hounding them, you got, you know, no programs, nothing for them to do. And even for the older brothers, the same thing. You got a lot of older brothers, they do want to do the right thing, they want to step up, but there's nobody there to give them a chance to step up. They understand that they screwed up years ago too.
Well, I want to thank you for that, but do you have any words that you'd like to say to the powers that be with regards to
well, one of the things I wanted to add on to what brother was saying is like with the whole police department and these task force gang intelligent task force, what they're doing, it's like they have a whole I would call it like a stress program to put stress and pressure and intimidation. Right. There's so much pressure that's being on, they putting on the youth. It's like they put them in a position to erupt like a volcano. Right. And this is what they want. So they can really round them up and kill our young brothers wholesale. That's why everywhere they go, they got it. I mean, I'm talking about even the babies. I'm talking about the little. One day I was in the back building, and I was talking to I was talking to some of the young brothers about what's going on, and a little he had to be about 5-6 years old, and he said I'm scared of police. I'm scared of police. You know, I'm terrified of police. They scare me. They don't want me to move around. You know. I mean, it was sad because I was like, wow, they're intimidating the baby.
How old was he?
Oh, this baby was like 6 years old, 7 years old.
6 years old.
Because you know the children be out there playing around, and they see all this happen,
and they're scared of.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they're terrified of the police also. It's like they have a systematic program to put pressure and stress on these youth. You know, give them all type of tickets. You know, put them in. You know, attach them to other conspiracies that they already have going on. You know what I'm saying?
I have one thing I experienced myself was when I came out here. Like I noticed that there was a white van that came out here and they were giving away free unmarked beer, and people in the area were just taking the beer out there. You know, and it was a white guy and a black guy, and they was giving away free unmarked beer on 54th Street, and people were lining up just